Many people have been asking for me to reveal my base on 2B2T. But the thing of it is, it's not just my base. It's our base. Was our base. For an entire year, we kept the largest player base a secret from everyone on 2B2T. And that base was Aureus City. With 14 players, it was the biggest base of 2016. The only reason I'm even mentioning this to you is because we've been betrayed by one of our own. And you're probably wondering who that person is. Well, let me tell you a little story. In early 2015, two players, Takrev and Cainslaw, had their base Exodus griefed. With nowhere to go, they went to Asgard 2 and joined the rest of us. This is the first time I met either of them. We all fought side by side during the third incursion, but when it was finally over, they still needed a home. And that's how Aureus City was founded on May 31st, 2015. Over time, the two slowly invited more players, and after my little end excursion, I was invited as well. I knew Cain's very well from the third incursion, and I knew this could be my new home. We all had ambitious plans for Aureus. We all wanted to make it the greatest city that had ever existed on 2B2T. Cainslaw created the gold farm while Takrev created the famous sandstone wall. As the most powerful gold farm on 2B2T at that time, we were able to create thousands upon thousands of enchanted golden apples. And we lined our streets with gold. Everything was made with gold. But there are no happy endings on 2B2T. And eventually, we were betrayed. Almost all of the major bases in 2B2T history were not found on accident. They were found because someone leaked the coordinates. And it's no different in this case. In 2015, one of our basemates, Snacky North, developed a crush on one of the female players on the server. He would talk with her every day. Little did we know that she wanted the coordinates to the museum so she could destroy it. She asked for the coordinates to our city, and Snacky couldn't resist. He sold us out. All 14 of us, and all of the hard work we had put into the base. No one would trust Snacky ever again. And the female player took our coordinates and gave them to rusher groups as soon as the war started. We knew the time had come. We didn't want to give anyone the glory of destroying Aureus, so we took it into our own hands. This is a list of all the members of Aureus, with one name omitted, of course. These are all the people that helped shape one of the greatest bases in 2B2T's history. Allow me to give you a tour before we destroy the place. I'm starting at the deepest part of Aureus and working my way to the top. This base is the City of Gold. Everything is built out of gold here at Aureus because of our large gold farm. It's the same one we use to manufacture all of the golden apples. These are the mines of Aureus. This is the deepest part. Even our mines we like to decorate. We took it very seriously. Now I'm approaching the map wall right now. We used to have a giant map right in this wooden frame here, but we took it down because of what we plan to do to the base. Now this is a giant sorter system built by Cainslaw. It's lagging me so much, and it always has. It's just so complex and it works so well. Cainslaw really took his time to make this thing really special. So much redstone wiring went into this thing, it's insane. The redstone lamps here tell us how full each of the chests are, and if there's any sort of overflow. It's a really advanced system. In here's my pumpkin pie farm that I created when I first came to Aureus. AFK completely. I must have crafted thousands of pumpkin pies here, just like I did at Asgard too. It's sort of my trademark at each base that I visit. Now this is an advanced tree farm that Cainslaw built after he saw some videos about it on YouTube. He fine-tuned the design for Aureus to make sure that all tree types worked with it. This is just a little taste of how advanced the machine is. Aureus City, while not the greatest redstone city in 2B2T's history, made very rampant use of it all throughout the base. Here was a small storage room that was used at one point, but we stopped using it after we had some base upgrades. But a nice little underwater viewing platform. Now when the tour's over, we're going to be coming back through that tunnel because it's a giant loop at this base. This is the original shelter that Cainslaw and Takrev stayed in when they first arrived at the spot that would become Aureus. They kept it as vintage as possible, as you can see. The pony map that Spartan made is up here at the top, but here is the surface of the town of Aureus. This is just one small part of the base, but you're going to get to see all of it. This was our powered rail duplication machine, and we also could modify it to dupe carpet as well. Two items that have always been able to be duped on 2B2T. Now this first one is Cainslaw's house. He did a very nice job on it. He uses a very natural feeling with a lot of wood and a lot of leaves. He really took good care of this place. Helixes were a common theme at Aureus, as well as having gold on everything. This was awesome Monkees House before he built his giant treehouse, which I'll be showing you shortly. But I feel bad because Monkey left for 14 months, and by the time he comes back, this place is going to be blown to smithereens. We started a small chorus farm in the town center here. This is Takrev's house, the second founder of Aureus. And while his is a little more bare bones, it still looks nice nonetheless. He worried more about how the base looked rather than his own house. This little thing was my house. I liked really building with a lot of unusual things like extended pistons, iron trap doors, you name it. I also have a little statue in the front yard that I'm going to show you in a little bit, but this is the kitchen, mug of coffee. My netherwort farm was down here. Just a little simple thing I like to set up for fun. There's a shovel statue in the front yard and we're going to walk by it, but I put that in after I competed in the Spleef World Cup. I made it several rounds in before I was eliminated, so I was pretty proud of myself. But this is Spartan's cottage. He's the same one that made the pony map. You're going to see an even better build by Spartan soon, but he liked to use natural materials in his construction of houses. This house belongs to James Russells, who quit 2B2T earlier this year. He was a good man. I'm sad he doesn't play anymore, but he's moved on. Aureus was his last base on 2B2T, and he built something magnificent before he left, and I can't wait to show you what it is. That red sandstone wall was the one built by Takrev, and he used gold all throughout its construction. Now this big tree here is Spartans Library. It's an absolutely beautiful build, and one that he took a lot of time on. He was very careful in its construction. It's a wood-based build, so one small fire could destroy the whole thing. A lot of players don't understand why us old players want to defend 2B2T so much. It's because of places like this. You wouldn't understand unless you had been a part of this. Spartan, just like James, quit 2B2T and has moved on to other things. We're happy for him, but we still do miss him. I always liked this build a lot because it had such an organic feeling to it. Minecraft is normally a lot of 90-degree angles, a lot of linearity, but this felt different for some reason. Not a bad view. In fact, there's hardly ever any areas in Aureus that weren't a good view. And that was Spartans Library. Beautiful, as you can see, and a lot of love and care went into it. Alright, now I'm gonna get down, but I think I'm gonna take a shortcut. Now that's Monkees' Treehouse. Wait till you see that up close. That'll be a little later. But for now, I'm gonna get down. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Now this is the Wizard Tower of Aureus. It's a very cool build. I want to show you something very cool that's on the top floor. So if we go up through here and we get to the very top, I'm going to go in the center of this little ballroom here, and I'm going to zoom out so you can see what's actually on the floor, and maybe, just maybe, you will recognize what it is. Take a look. Alright, next I'm going to take you to Monkees' Treehouse. Now, Monkey loved building with jungle anything. I mean, just his name is Monkey, of course he has to. And he's always done a really cool job with his builds. Just, I've always appreciated the work that he's put into all of his bases. And this treehouse is no exception. This was Monkey's potion room. This is where he made most of his potions, and this is where we would usually come to make potions too. It was the most well-equipped room for it in the whole base. That was the mushroom farm down there. Little hallway out to some livestock here, a hot tub, not bad. Now to get to the top of the treehouse, you could either use this ladder, or you could climb the vines that were outside on the massive tree trunk. There were many ways to get around, a lot of places to climb, just the way Monkey wanted it. At the bottom here we have a slime block trampoline, and we had a lot of fun many times just jumping from the top. A lot of good times were had here. As you can see, this tree trunk was no joke. It goes up and up and up and up. And it took a while for all these vines to grow all the way, but it worked in the end. Because you can climb straight up with no problems. Now that is a long way down, and out here you had the branches of the trees. If you have a fear of heights, you probably wouldn't want to live up here, but Monkey was not afraid of heights at all. He had a very elaborate branch system here using the logs, and it was also the walkways to the other parts of the treehouse. Now here we are on the Treetops, and as you can see, even up here it's still very detailed. He did a great job putting in the little things. Now even though his name was not on the member board, Jack the Ripper was part of Aureus, and I believe he lived in this treehouse with Monkey, or at least used it as his bed spawn. Not a bad view at night, not bad at all. Like I said, never a bad view in Aureus. Even though I'm kind of sad at the moment, this will be fun. Boing. Jeez, this is not my day. There we go. Jeez. Alright. Now we are off to see something very magnificent. Very, very magnificent. Now, once we get out of this livestock area that Monkey built, you're going to see something that would have been incredible if we had not been betrayed. If Hayer had the time to finish this build, it would have been considered incredible by 2B2T standards. This was the start of Hayer's Cathedral. Every block was placed by hand. It just... See, people, this is what I'm talking about. If Rusher wouldn't have showed up and brought his army of 12-year-old fans to a place like 2B where adults play, I wouldn't have to be showing you this in the first place. This build would still be safe. But Hayer cleared all this land and made it flat in preparation for this build. I feel so bad. He worked so hard and prepped for so long for this build, and now we have to abandon it. I'm almost at 20 minutes already, and I haven't even shown you half the base yet. There's still numerous wonderful things to see here, and I want to make sure that we can share this with the world before we destroy it.